Hi everyone, it's Father James Mallon here, the pastor of St. Benedict Parish over in Halifax here. And first of all, I want to greet all of you on behalf of all of our parishioners. And I want to say that I'm really sorry that I can't be there with you tonight because trust me, I'd love to be with you rather than where I am right now. Anyway, don't tell anyone I said that. So I'm very happy to be with you. I'm so delighted that Alpha was a positive experience. I'm so glad that many of you have experienced a greater sense of God's love for you, a greater sense of peace, a greater sense of freedom. And I know that all of you have taken steps along a journey of faith. And I will be praying for you. I'm going to pray for you today. I'm going to pray for you tonight as you finish off this program. I pray that God continues to bless you. I was thinking about what to share with you, and I do have a little story to tell you. Last week I was visiting a friend of mine, had a few days of vacation. And this friend, a few years ago, had told me a story. This man travels in different countries, and he sets up schools and hospitals, and he actually did a lot of work in prisons. He's traveled and visited in prisons all over the world, some prisons that have really, really terrible conditions. And it's a real passion of his. A number of years back, well, 20 years ago, he was visiting prisons in the Philippines. And during his visit, he actually visited with the leader of the Catholic Church in the Philippines. He was a cardinal, and his last name was Sin. So his name was Cardinal Sin. It's kind of a funny name for a cardinal. And my friend Michael told me that when he arrived in the cardinal's house, the cardinal came down the stairs and he opened up his arms in a big wide gesture and he said, "Welcome to the house of Sin." It's kind of funny. But my friend developed a close friendship with Cardinal Sin, who was a wonderful man. And the cardinal told him a story. He told him this story, that a few years before, he had been visiting a convent, a group of nuns. And he had heard that one of the sisters supposedly had been receiving visions of Jesus. And so he spoke to her. He said, "I hear that you have these visions." And she said, "Yes." And he talked to her a little bit about that, and he left. And a few months later, he came back for a visit again, and he called her in to speak to her, and he said, "Are you still having those visions?" She said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Well, I'll tell you what. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to ask Jesus something. I want you to ask him what my sins are." She said, "Okay." And a few months went by, and the cardinal came back to visit, and he met with the sister again, and he said, "Are you still having those visions?" She said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Did you ask Jesus what I asked you to ask him?" She said, "Yes, I did." And he said, "What did he say?" And she said, "He said that he can't remember. He doesn't know what your sins are because he forgave you. And because he forgave you, he can't remember." And that's a true story. And the cardinal told my friend that when she said that, he knew that whatever she was experiencing was real. Because when God forgives, God forgets. Whenever God forgives us, even if he's forgiving us again for things that we struggle with, it's always the first time for God. It's one of the things that Pope Francis has said recently, that God never tires of forgiving us. That's how great and wonderful the mercy of God is, the mercy of God. And I tell you this because it's one thing we have in common is that we all struggle with human weakness and with our brokenness and our sinfulness. And to encourage you all to place your trust in the Lord, to know that his mercy is great. His mercy covers everything. We just need to go to him and with confidence ask for his mercy and his forgiveness, because when God forgives, he forgets. I hope and pray that all of you can continue to grow in your freedom in the Lord and to know that God is with you. Blessings on all of you. I will pray for you. And I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, to please pray for me and for the members of our church. God bless you, and I hope at some point to see you. Bye now.